See, when I read this title, it made me wonder, is there anything that the left will not be offended about? Now, this one's gonna be regarding an article and talking about a personal experience. This one because this one kind of affects me to some degree because it reminds me of something that happened regarding this hat. Yes, this hat in particular, because again, my hat has the American flag on the rims. It has proud to be an American with the colors of the flag, and this one is involving the old American flag, the first 13 states. When it comes to the Betsy Ross flag. Now, before we go into this article, go into Carlos Redvids, and if you'd like to support my work, I do not want to monetize through YouTube because I do not want you guys to see ads on my channels. At the same time, I do not want to rely on YouTube for my income. Mostly because YouTube it'll just give YouTube a more leverage when it comes to demonetizing my videos and even deplatforming me in general if they consider my channel and my videos to be too controversial, and I put that in quotes because you know how YouTube, with Carlos Mazza going around, pushing YouTube to censor any outlet or any YouTube creator that is not a hardcore leftist. But by any means, it really does help. It really does. But if even if you don't want to donate, go ahead and just become a member. Just log in using your Google account or Facebook account. The website is incredibly secure, and I hope you guys enjoy it. You can chat with other people on the forum. But let's go back with the article. The title reads, Nike nixes Betsy Ross flag shoe after Kaepernick intervenes. Now, I don't know if you're aware of who Colin Kaepernick is, but if you are aware, is the guy, who was raised by white parents, who lived in a white family, and then now he complains that white people are bad and that America is bad, even though he made a living, he made millions of dollars playing American football. Okay, so he hates the country. Apparently, he does. He does hate the country. And he usually he leached off the American system pretty much. So it's pretty ironic when someone says, "Oh, I hate America," but they benefit from a lot of things that are from America. That's really ironic that someone like Kaepernick complains about America, even though he grew up in a stable home. He grew up with two parents, and he made a living. Basically, he made a living playing a sport that is watched by millions of Americans. It's pretty ironic how he hates America, don't you think? Even though he made a lot of money thanks to the American people. I know, it really is. But anyways, no, so Kaepernick, he made a lot of controversial things. He did a lot of controversial things, mostly for kneeling during the national anthem. But now Kaepernick is now, intervening when it comes to Nike's Betsy Ross flag. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Nike in terms of shoes, because I'm not really picky with my shoes or my brand. But these shoes look pretty cool. But what's the problem? They have this little flag right here. I'm going to read the article, and that way you guys can know what's the problem. And after that, I'm going to get to my personal story regarding the American flag and what it has to do with my cap that I'm wearing right now. So Nike Incorporated is yanking a USA-themed sneaker featuring an early American flag after NFL star turned activist Colin Kaepernick told the company it shouldn't sell a shoe with a symbol that he and others consider offensive, according to people familiar with the matter. So because these shoes are considered offensive, they have a right to ban them. Because we want to worry about people's feelings. We do not want to hurt their feelings because people are so soft nowadays that if you're offended, those are grounds for removing a product. Okay, like really, it's ridiculous. I mean, look at these shoes. These look pretty cool. I really do like the design. I really do. But I don't. But again, they find it offensive, and that makes it okay for them to literally ban, literally stop the creation of the shoes. Now, the sneaker giant created the Air Max 1 USA in celebration for the 4th of July holiday, and it was slated to go on sale this week. The heel of the shoe featured a US flag with 13 white stars in a circle, and a design created during the American Revolution and commonly referred to as the Betsy Ross flag. After shipping the shoes to retailers, Nike asked for them to be returned without explaining why. The people said the shoes aren't available on Nike's own apps and websites. Nike has chosen to not release the Air Max 1 Quick Strike 4th of July as it featured the old version of the American flag, a Nike spokesman said. After images of the shoe were posted online, Mr. Kaepernick, a Nike endorser, reached out to company officials, saying that he and others felt the Betsy Ross flag is an offensive symbol because of its connection to an era of slavery, the people said. Some users on social media responded to posts about the shoe with similar concerns. Mr. Kaepernick declined to comment. The design was created in the 1970s to represent the 13 original colonies through their were many earlier versions of the American flag, according to the Smithsonian. In 1795, two stars were added to reflect the addition of Vermont and Kentucky as states. In 2016, the superintendent of Michigan School District apologized after students waved the Betsy Ross flag at a high school football game, saying that for some, it is a symbol of white supremacy and nationalism, according to MLive.com, a local news outlet. While the flag's use isn't widespread, the local chapter of the National Association for Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP, said at the time that that it has been appropriated by some extremist groups opposed to America's increasing diversity. Mr. Kaepernick, 31 years old, last played in the NFL in 2016. This season he began kneeling on the field during the national anthem to call attention to social injustices and racial inequality. He has gone unsigned since, and along his former teammate Eric Reed, or Eric Wright, or I don't pronounce that, recently settled collusion grievances that allege the league and its teams conspired to keep them unsigned because of their outspoken political views. The settlement was for less than $10 million, the Wall Street Journal previously reported. Last year, Nike made Mr. Kaepernick the face of an advertising campaign while he was still engaged in that dispute with the league, a risky move given Nike's role as one of the NFL's biggest partners. The campaign generated a backlash among some consumers who began torching Nike shoes and cutting its swoosh logo out of its gear. The protests were countered by expressions of support for Nike. Since the ad was released, Nike has posted higher sales, boosted by strong demand in the US, by both the US and China. The fourth quarter sale rose 4% to $10.18 billion. Its share price has climbed more than 15% so far this year. At least some shoes have already made their way to the sneaker enthusiasts. Versions of the Air Max 1 USA were changing hands on sneaker reselling site StockX for much as $500 on Monday, according to the site. Now, when it comes to the shoe, I understand, sure. During the time of 1776, slavery was still going on. I'll acknowledge that. I acknowledge that this country has had a history of bad things. But what country hasn't had bad things in their history? I guarantee you, Europe has a really bad past. I mean, wasn't it the Europeans who basically sent the slaves over to the USA? I mean, wasn't that the Europeans' fault? What about Egypt? So what about Egypt? Egypt had slavery too. They enslaved the Israelites, and Moses had to come and free them all because Egypt was literally exploiting them for slave labor. Every country has had a bad stain in its history, but what matters is that what we do and what we learn from it is that's what's most important. Now, this flag, sure, it was made during a time where slavery was still going on. During the American Revolution, the slaves, after that, they were never free. That was after the Civil War, almost a century afterwards. Actually, not even, no, less than a century. Almost 90 years. Okay? Actually, yeah, almost 90 years. So, what happened was that this flag, sure, it could be considered offensive to some, but I disagree. I don't consider it offensive. Yeah, it was made during a time when slavery was going on. Black people were not seen as equal to whites. But this flag, I see it as something more. This flag is the birth of an idea where people can come into this country, make a living, be someone better than the country where they come from. This flag was made in a way to say to Britain, we are different than you. We are not like you. We will govern ourselves because we do not need Europe and England. We do not England and Great Britain. We do not need the king and the monarchy to tell us what to do. This flag, I see it as a birth of an idea. Because I'll tell you right now, is America perfect? No. We still have problems today that, we wish we could fix. But the thing is that America, compared to other countries, I see it as a better country than most. Why? Because in Mexico, I'll tell you right now, I'm Hispanic, but I'm not proud of Mexico. I'm not. You want to know why? Sure, I like the culture to some degree. I do like the style of clothing, but that's not for me. I don't see myself wearing it because that's not my type of style. However, when it comes to the country of Mexico, I'm not proud of it. Why would I be proud of a country that is run by cartels? Why would I be run by a country where every single cop, or mostly every single cop, and most of the lawyers are corrupt because the cartel buys them? Why would I be proud of a country like that? Why? Here, this country, this flag, I see it as the birth of an idea. That people, all men, women, children, genders, regardless of what you want to say, are created equal. And that's the thing. The thing about the Declaration of Independence, the words have never changed. The words have never changed. The thing that has changed is who is affected by this law. Who's affected by this idea. When during this revolution, only white men were seen as the ability to be free, to choose their own government, to vote. That's what the idea was. The idea stayed the same, but the thing is that the country has changed who this law applies to, what this gift applies to. In 1865, it changed to black men. Black men are allowed to vote now. The idea of freedom, the right to freedom, life, and the pursuit of happiness, those three things, they've never changed. All of us have a right to life, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what the Declaration of Independence says. That's a statement. This is the idea. This flag is the embodiment of that idea. The difference between that is the idea, is who it applies to, what this idea applies to. And this time, it was only white men. Sure, it was very exclusive, but you want to know what's good about this? Is that as the time passed, this same idea was applied to different people, and that's what I consider this flag not offensive, but a gift. Because if it wasn't for this flag, if it wasn't for the colonies who said we're not gonna take the tyranny of England anymore, we're not gonna stand for it. If that hadn't happened, you wouldn't be living the life that you have today. Sure, there was horrible things in the past, but the past was filled with horrendous things. Every country has had a horrible past. The thing is that what we do from the past and what we learn from it is what matters. Had the colonists said, well, you know what, we're just gonna stay with England, we're just gonna deal with the abuse of the king and the monarchy and the parliament, we're just gonna deal with it. Had that happened, chances are, if you're living in, I don't know, Louisiana or I don't know, North Dakota, you wouldn't be living in the great U.S. of A. You wouldn't. You wanna know why? Because it was because of this revolution that made the U.S. buy the Louisiana territories from France. It was under Thomas Jefferson. The U.S. was a country at the time, and they bought the Louisiana territory. It basically doubled the size of the U.S. So if you're living in the state of Louisiana, or you're living in North Dakota or South Dakota, maybe you wouldn't be living in the U.S. today. Sure, we have a horrible past, but this flag, I see it as a representation of an idea. The birth of a country that lets you be who you want to be and not let the government tell you what you should be. Okay, that's the thing. Now, in this country, there's a lot of choice. In Mexico, there isn't. You can't do much. You really can't. And now, with this flag, I sure, it was made during a horrible time. I acknowledge that. I will acknowledge this from time to time. Slavery was going on with this flag when it was created. But I see it as an idea. The idea that all of us can come here, legally, of course, but that's a different subject. That people can come here into this country and make something of themselves that they weren't able to do in their old country. That's the thing. That's what I see it as. That every citizen has the right to life, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what I see this flag as. The birth of an idea. It was exclusive at first, but the words have remained the same, and the ideas and the people that this idea applies to has expanded. Now, in 2019, the idea and the right to life, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness, that idea applies to me now. In 1776, it wouldn't have applied. But in 2019, I am thankful that the people in the past, the politicians from the Civil War, from 1776 all the way to 2019, acknowledge that this right is an entitled, not even an entitlement, but it's a birthright. We're born and we're entitled with these rights. Every American citizen has the right to life, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness, and I'm thankful for that idea. I'm thankful for the politicians from past, present, and future who will stand for this idea. It was made during a time of slavery, sure, but the idea remains the same. Now, the reason why I mentioned this hat earlier is because this hat, like I said, people find the American flag offensive for some reason. The reason why this article kind of had a personal effect on me was because this hat I recently got over the summer. I got it in May, and the thing is that I was going to Target. My girlfriend needed to buy something. She didn't need to buy something. She had to go to the bathroom. I was gonna go buy something. I was gonna go buy the Dragon Ball Super movie. I went to Target for that. While my girlfriend went to the bathroom, I decided to just go to the electronics section and see if I could find the movie. While I'm looking for it, because Target doesn't know how to organize, but I digress. It's a different subject. I hear someone tell me, and I'm wearing this hat by the way. I hear someone tell me, "Hey, take that hat off. It's offensive." I'm looking around and I'm thinking, I'm sorry, you're talking to me, sir? And and the guy tells me, and I was like, yeah, I'm talking to you. Take that hat off. And I asked him, but why? I was like, because that hat is offensive. I take off my hat and I ask, well, what's offensive about this hat? And what he tells me, it pisses me off beyond belief. But it'd be like I try not to show it somewhat. I showed it somewhat, but I wasn't really like I didn't really show him I didn't really show my frustration that much. But anyway, so I put on my hat and I told him, and I just tell him, well, why do I need to take off this hat? What's offensive about it? And then his response pisses me off. He tells me, "Oh, America represents racism. Can't you see that you're oppressed?" That's when I got pissed off. Obviously, I didn't show him. I didn't show him that I was pissed off that much, but I did grip my hand into a fist because I hate being told that I'm a victim. Trust me. If you're gonna tell someone that they're a victim, don't tell it to me. Because I do not like being told that I'm incapable. I do not like being told that I can't do anything because of the color of my skin. I've done a lot of great things, regardless of the color of my skin. I've done a lot of great things. I've went to school. Sure, they were not the best schools, but I got good grades because I made that choice. I made that choice. I made the choice to study. I made the choice to go to school. I made the choice of joining clubs. That's my choice. I wasn't denied that choice. I made that choice. The choice was there for me, and I took the choice. I took that option. When someone tells me I'm oppressed because I'm Hispanic, I get mad because I don't see myself as oppressed. I have a lot of things I would have never had in Mexico. I have relatives in Mexico who don't have the things that I have. So it pisses me off when someone tells me I'm oppressed. Like, no, I'm not oppressed. I'm not. But anyways, back with the story. So I obviously after a brief pause, I'm thinking, you know what, I need to think before I say anything stupid. And my response was this. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I don't feel that I'm oppressed. Now, if you excuse me, I would like to go back to finding a movie that I'm looking for. So I just go back, trying to look for it. The guy, he doesn't get the message. He doesn't get the message. I'm saying, dude, leave me alone. He doesn't get that. So he continues. And this was the tipping point for me. This is what actually got me pissed off, and I called him out on it. Okay, I, he basically told me, "You're not even American, man. You're Mexican. Why are you wearing that hat? You shouldn't wear it because you're Mexican, man." At that point, I got mad. I looked at him and I told him, "Listen, dude, stop being a racist. Go back to your shopping. I'm not bothering you at all, so leave me alone. Stop being a racist." The guy looks at me and tells me, why am I being racist? I'm not racist. I told him, yes, you are. You're telling me I can't wear this hat because of the color of my skin. You're racist. How would you feel if a white person, because this guy was Hispanic, he was a fellow Hispanic like me. That's why I don't tell you the race, because I still see racism as racism. I don't care I don't care. I don't care if you're white. Because I tell you this one. I tell you this right now. White people are not the only ones who can be racist. Black people can be racist. Hispanics can be racist. Okay, I tell you right now, not racism is not just exclusive to whites. And the thing is, I tell you right now, what that Mexican person told me, what that Hispanic person told me, that was a racist statement. Can you imagine if you're wearing a shirt, let's say a shirt with the American flag on it, and a white person tells you you're not even American, you're Mexican. Why are you wearing that shirt? NBC would have covered the story. MSNBC would have covered that story and then they'll say this is proof that white supremacy is still going on. But this guy was Hispanic. I just called him out on it, dude. Stop! You're being racist. Okay, you're being racist. Like, I'm not being racist. You said you're Mexican. You shouldn't be wearing that hat. But that's the problem. It gone to the point where the left sees this flag, these colors as offensive. It's gone to the point where people where seriously, I'm thinking, okay, this hat is harmless. This hat is harmless. It doesn't say make America great again, but this hat is harmless. I'm proud of being in America. I'm proud of being an American because I have a better life here. But now apparently, like it turned out, these individuals see these colors, red, white, and blue, as offensive. Colin Kaepernick is another individual like that. They see the idea of the American flag as offensive. So where does it stop? I don't know. But that's the thing. Now, if you wear something remotely red, white, and blue, it is offensive. It can be offensive because, America represents racism and white supremacy and nationalism. I'm sorry, but coming from a Hispanic, I have a much better life here. I do not feel like I'm oppressed. I do not feel like I'm being constantly targeted by the white male or the white supremacist country of the United States. No, I do not feel like I'm oppressed. I have more choices here, and the thing is that when I have more choices, I have more opportunities to grow, and I have that incentive to grow. I'm not told to go into the school because I'm Hispanic. I'm not told to not go into this restaurant because I'm Hispanic. No. But apparently, simply wearing a hat that shows you that you are patriotic and love the country that you live in, that is not considered bad. So let me know what you guys think. I'm sorry, I know this was a lengthy video, so I apologize for that. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Colin Kaepernick has is right to basically tell Nike to stop producing these shoes? Now, I'll tell you right now, like I said, I agree. I agree that this flag was made during time of slavery. But do you agree that this flag also represents the birth of an idea? That we can all prosper under this country without being told and being limited by the government? Without being, by not being, do you think we can prosper with the idea? Do you agree that the thing that makes this country great is the fact that the ideas have remained the same, but it has added more people into the mix compared to keeping them out? Let me know what you guys think. Share the video if you liked it. Like the video as well. It really helps in YouTube's algorithm, especially now when YouTube is now ramping up their censorship. Comment what you think. Do you agree, disagree? And after that, that's gonna be the end of the video. Hope you guys have a good rest of the day. And if I probably might post some more videos tomorrow or the 4th of July, but I'm actually, I might be working more. So if not, if I don't make another video by the 4th of July, I hope you guys have a good 4th of July. Stay safe, and until next time, you guys.